All right, guys, in today's video, we are going through the top resume myths that are likely preventing you from landing high-paying job offers from companies that you actually admire. So for those of you who are new or who don't know me, my name's Katie. I am a coach with Career Sprout, where it takes us about 63 days on average to grow somebody's salary by about $37,000 on average. So the way we do that is help people transition into the right job at the right company in the right industry. So let's dive in here. All right, guys. So this is part of a much bigger presentation on the comprehensive A to Z resume, but I just wanted to dive into the resume myths that are out there today. Now, in order for me to do that, I do want to start by saying I know that there's a lot of different information out there. So our classification on we use the same grading system for what makes a good resume and a good LinkedIn profile. It's very simple. It's not, hey, your resume writer told you it was good, so you're good. It's very simple. How many recruiters and hiring managers are actively reaching out to you on a weekly basis? Okay. If you do not have people actively reaching out to you, that means you are likely doing something, not likely, you are definitely doing something wrong on your resume and your LinkedIn profile. So again, there's a ton of contradiction out there. I am only going to be sharing the proven process or the proven myth busting that has happened from helping over 500 people land high paying job offers with companies that they admire. So here are some of the myths that are out there that you want to be cognizant of. Common myth number one, your resume has to be one page long. Absolutely not. If you have less than 5 years of experience, you should keep it on one page. If you can't, you're likely putting a lot of fluff in there. Otherwise, 2, 3 should be your absolute max. Totally fine. Another myth, your resume should have your entire work history. Again, if you are a year or two in, sure, but you should not have more than 10 to 15 years back. That is likely not relevant information to you landing your next role. Great example of this is if you are stepping into a director level or you are a managing role, you don't need to have all of your associate experience. Okay, that is likely not relevant. That's likely not going to help you step into your director role. It's likely going to hinder you. Just because you are good at a job does not mean you're good at managing people to do that job. So it's very important that you have the right information on there and you are not going back and adding in unnecessary fluff. All right, the next myth, it's okay to have one or two very small grammatical errors. Absolutely not. Unfortunately, grammar errors, spelling errors are not okay in your resume. Are there some things that you can do to decrease your odds of getting thrown out? Absolutely. But as a general rule, it's a very simple thing for you to go through and check. And companies, hiring managers, it's not even necessarily companies. Company culture may not be very picky about that, but you have to make it through recruiters and hiring managers who are going to be very, very picky about that. So it's not okay. You will dramatically decrease your odds of landing high quality interviews if you have even one grammar error on there. Another myth, you need to have a new resume for every job that you apply to. Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, we talk about this a lot in our other videos, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but you need to know what role you are aiming for. So this starts by knowing what your life goals are, thinking about your life holistically, where you want to end up. Then from there, we reverse engineer back to the next role or two roles that are going to get you where you want to go. So you want to make sure that you are actually targeting what is going to be best for not only your career, but your personal life. And then you should have one role. Now, again, we talk a lot about this. We call it your career nirvana is where you're aiming for, and then being able to reverse that back down to your next role. If you skip that step, it is very, very hard for you to have a good resume. It is very, very hard for you to land high paying job offers. So that's a step. We've got plenty of videos on it. You can comment below if you need links to it. But it's very important that you know what next role is going to set you up for success. Then from there, you want to just study the job descriptions, make sure that you're not leaving out anything that's glaringly obvious, but that career map exercise, it should avoid the need for you to have more than one resume. You may need to make a tweak or two for a handful of applications. All right. Another myth, a great resume will get you the job. Unfortunately, no. This one is a big no, not at all. So your resume is just to speak to the systems. you need to be able to talk to the people. Your resume will get you on the get your foot in the door. So you have to make sure you're knocking on the right door first and foremost. Make sure you know that what you're doing is applying for is the right job. But then your resume just puts a little stopper in the door so that it doesn't close on you. And then to get into the door, you need to use your words. You need to master the interview process. Very, very important. And so, as I just kind of alluded to there, while your resume is an important step, your transition, whether it's a job transition or a career transition or an industry transition, it is going to fall apart if it's not supported by the other 4 steps. This is something that a lot of people spend so much time on their resume, but they don't realize that's not what's actually doing the most damage. They are missing one of these other steps, especially if you miss step number 1, which is your career clarity or career nirvana. In this workshop, I used an analogy of getting to your M&M store. But it is very, very important that you've got each of these steps. We have a ton of free resources on any and all of them. So if you do need something, feel free to comment below, send us an email or subscribe. We're starting to post more regularly now. So if you subscribe, you will get access to our whole free library of information, things that we're presenting on the interview process, on getting in front of the right people, on negotiating, on knowing whether or not it's the right job or the right company for you, all that good stuff. So with that, I hope this was helpful for you guys to ease into the resume writing process, avoid some of those myths that are out there. Definitely don't feel the need to keep it on one page with super small margins, super small font. That is not going to help you. Your recruiters, your hiring managers only spend, 8 seconds, give or take, looking at your resume. So if it's really small, it's going to actually hurt you more than it helps you. So with that, I hope you guys are having a good one, and I will see you in the next one.